Hi everyone, this is Latasia Cofield, NAMIC NY Chapter Member, and I'm here at IAC Applications, an app development firm that have heavily invested in creating mobile applications that make consumers' lives easier. I'm super excited. I have a special guest here. I'm here with Netta Jenkins. She is the head of diversity and inclusion at IAC, and we'll be speaking on how to achieve active allyship in the workplace. So let's just jump right into it. Thank you so much for volunteering your time and divulging your expertise. As we all know, the demographic profile in the United States is shifting, with minorities expected to reach the majority by 2044.
Right.
Therefore, companies have been leveraging their workforce and been beefing up their employee resource groups to reach diverse communities and customers. There has been a long debate on the effectiveness of employee resource groups.
Right.
In your experience, are they effective?
It's an excellent question. So ERGs are effective in the workplace to a point, right? I think they do provide a sense of community. But ERGs, for me, what I found very quickly was that they were essentially segregated groups. So if you have a people of color group, if you have a women in tech group, an LGBTQ group, you now have 3 separate groups, right? But what happens to those folks that don't identify with those groups? They don't join. They're not a part of it. And if you're not a part of something, then you're not investing your time. And particularly, we're having a very big challenge, and I think all tech companies, with white men, right? Or executives in general being invested. And so my task has always been, well, how do we bring everyone to the table, right? I love the fact that you could have that community where you could vent and you could, try to create change within that ERG. But how do we create change overall in the workplace? How do we bridge that gap?
That's pretty fascinating. That's a dynamic perspective to have. When you think of diversity, the first thing that comes to mind are minorities and women. And specifically to tech companies, they're focused now on neurodiversity. When you think of neurodivergent, those with autism, that have bipolar disorder and ADHD, how do those companies accommodate those subgroups? I mean, they're heavily an asset to the company because they tend to have unique skills in mathematics and science. But how are you ensuring full inclusion?
Right.
What are some of your tactics?
So what I did was, initially we had employee resource groups. We removed them. We removed all groups and created one group called Diversity Ambassadors. And with Diversity Ambassadors, you have every single person that is really adding to the discussion, right? So if you're someone that is really passionate about women in technology, you may be talking about women in tech. Now you're sharing content and other people are learning. Every single person is a part of this group. And what we also do is we've created a Slack channel called Diversity Ambassadors. So we're having ongoing conversations literally every single day. It's not just one day and, we're going to talk about this. People are talking about being a single mother, being a single father.
So it gets real.
It gets very, very real. When Black Panther came out, there was an employee that said, well, I don't understand the big hype around Black Panther. There was another employee that says, well, let me break it down for you. This was not an African-American employee. This was a Caucasian employee that said, well, let me tell you why it's so important.
Wow.
And that's the type of change that we want to see, and so, and that's why it goes back to, yes, employee resource group creates that sense of community, but how are we creating change and how are we getting everyone talking about these topics and invested about in these topics as well?
So it doesn't seem like you got rid of the group, the employee resource groups, you've expanded it to make it more inclusive.
Well, no, we removed all those.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So we removed all those groups, and we only created one group called Diversity Ambassadors. So that's literally every single person in the company that's a part of these conversations contributing to this as well. And the other thing is we have employees that are in Minsk, that are in Austria, that are around the world.
Global.
It's global. So, a lot of the things that we're dealing with as Americans, they may not be dealing with. And it's so key for them to understand some of these things that are coming up, in the workplace in America as well. And they're applying, to the discussion as well.
It's pretty incredible. How do you create a safe space for people to speak on topics and discuss sometimes uncomfortable issues that with one another that may not share the same characteristics or the lifestyles as each other?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think a part of that, it goes right back to our Diversity Ambassadors group. That is really a safe space. So one of the things that I'm coming up with now that I'm creating is called holistic mindset, right? And having a holistic mindset means you have the willingness to risk comfortable standards, right? And a lot of the times we want to be comfortable, right? And we say, quote unquote, oh, we want this safe space.
Natural.
Which is a natural thing. But in order for us to create change, we have to talk about these things openly, And so that Diversity Ambassadors channel is about respecting every single person's perspective. Even that guy that said, listen, I don't understand the hype around Black Panther. I'm so happy that he brought that up because that gave someone else a chance to say, well, this is the importance of it. And after that, it was such an enlightening thing. And I think people felt safe. He wasn't attacked, but he was educated on the importance of it. So
that's pretty incredible how you use technology to communicate with one another. So that's an important factor to ensuring this operate perfectly. So the moment of truth, while we're all here, what does it really mean to achieve active allyship in the workplace? And how do you know which allyship programs your company are in need of?
Right. I think the biggest thing is, an ally means being an advocate, being a sponsor, right? A lot of companies say, we have a pipeline issue in the tech world. We have a pipeline issue, Netta. It's not a pipeline issue, it's an opportunity issue. Are we willing to give people an opportunity to excel? Are we willing to train them? So that means someone that may have been at a tech boot camp, coming out of a tech boot camp that doesn't have much experience, or maybe they've trained themselves how to code. Are we going to give them the opportunity to learn, to bring them on board? Are we just sticking to the job description and saying, hey, this is what it is? And for us, we created a program called the Career Switch Program.
Okay.
So that is for folks that joined a tech boot camp or they're teaching themselves how to code. And we're partnering those people with hiring managers that have hiring power. So those are their allies and they're becoming advocates and sponsors. So I have one person actually that we're extending an offer to that is in that program. She is phenomenal. And she went to a tech boot camp. She doesn't have a computer science degree. And a lot of the talk was, hey, Netta, I don't know if, she would be the best fit right now because she doesn't have all the tools and all the things that we require. And I had to have that conversation with them that we can train her. You know what I mean? We need to give her the opportunity to excel. Let's set some expectations so she knows what to expect. And what you want out of it as well. But I said, if we train her, she could be a valuable asset to this company. And that is what an advocate is about. I mean, the person that was mentoring her is the vice president of software engineering. He is so dedicated. And he said to me, Netta, I don't care what it is. I'm going to do whatever I can do to bring her on board because I believe in her.
That's a pretty fascinating concept and insight that you have on that, because if you are making that career shift, many times, you send your application out and the HR manager is the gatekeeper, and they're looking to ensure that you have this timeline worth of work experience. And you may not have acquired that because you shift careers. So that's a pretty interesting concept that you need to have the hiring manager advocating for you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think also any diversity and inclusion leader, it's not enough just to say, oh, well, we need talent. You also have to be an advocate too, because I was an advocate throughout that process saying, listen, I believe in her. I know that she's capable of excelling in this role, and because I had that conversation with them, they were excited about it too. The hiring manager said to me, well, I'm getting chills, and he said to me, Netta, you're right. If it weren't for someone giving me a chance and an opportunity, I would never be at the place that I'm at today.
Someone has to give you a chance. It starts with someone giving you the torch to. Yeah, it really does. Yep. So how have your current company, IAC, created a sustainable work environment for you to lead change in this capacity? Yeah,
IAC Applications has, really allowed me to be innovative and creative, and that's what it's about. So when I browse through job descriptions for head of diversity and inclusion or VP of diversity and inclusion, I see a list of things that they want. And I'm like, how can they possibly put all these things on this job description when no one has really been able to excel at diversity and inclusion? Wouldn't I want to see a company that's going to put out a blank form that says VP of diversity and inclusion or head of diversity and inclusion with no responsibilities, and ask that person, hey, come in and pitch your idea. We want to see how innovative and creative, because that's what it's about. It's about that person's mindset. It's not necessarily what the company thinks. And I think many companies are going that route right now, and so at IAC Applications, they've allowed me to be creative. They've allowed me to really take my experiences and implement it, and allowed me to have a voice on these topics, allowed me to, go out externally and speak to people and empower people around these topics. So, that's a true blessing.
I think that's so important to have that type of support system and work environment, especially in a creative industry such as tech. This is why we have so many amazing apps out there that make our lives easier. I love apps. I do everything with apps.
I do too.
I call a on-demand car service. I do book a parking spot on demand, a cleaning service. You can even find you a husband,
Oh my gosh, yes, absolutely.
So considering that the average mobile user spends about 170 minutes on their mobile, checks it 150 times per day, and with the average mobile session lasting 70 seconds, what is the future of app development?
Gosh, the future of app development is looking bright. So at IAC Applications, we have 4 different businesses, right? So we have a browser division, we have 2 mobile businesses, and then a desktop and utilities business. And we're really focused on app development right now with the 2, mobile businesses, Apollon and Daily Burn. And we just see it expanding. People want something that's easy. They want it quick and effective and efficient and
instant gratification.
Yeah, instant gratification, right? And so I feel like applications allow you to do that. Click of a button and boop, here's your car. Click of a button and boop, there's your man. Well, maybe, I don't know.
Hopefully.
That's a little harder to do, right?
That is. It takes a lot of trial and error there. That's right. A personalized man, you can customize them.
See? I love it.
So what opportunities does the industry have for the next generation of tech gurus, engineers, developers, designers?
Yeah, I think, for IAC Applications, it's really about finding people that are innovative, that are creative, allowing them the opportunity. Like when I had talked to you about the young lady that we're going to be bringing on board, it's those opportunities that really empower us as an organization, giving someone a chance. Training them, getting them up to speed, and watching them excel, watching them reach a CEO level or a VP level or a senior manager level. Like, we want to see that. And I think that's the future for us, really developing people. Leadership and development is
people
key.
Development.
Yes.
Of that. So what tips can you provide people looking to make this career shift? I know you spoke a little bit about the boot camp.
Right.
But people who may not don't want to invest in, don't have the money or the time to invest in a computer science or engineering degree. Can you speak a little bit further? Maybe this.
Yeah. There's a lot of great organizations out there that are free. A lot of applications too, that are free, that they can teach themselves how to code. We Build Black is an organization that I absolutely love. I always tell people to go there. They teach you how to code for free.
Wow.
And there's a lot of tech companies now.
Code for free.
Code for free. They're amazing.
2018. There's no excuses.
There's just no excuses.
There's no excuses.
Yeah, and then there's so many different programs out there too that you can download. And really, if that's something you want to do, teach yourself. And sometimes, you have to invest in yourself. If you spend a little bit of money to gain that knowledge, do it. It'll pay off in the end.
I do know Google has a tool that is a free tool that teaches you how to develop an app. It's completely free, and it's a mock app, but it still teaches you the procedure.
Right.
So what are some of your favorite apps?
Yeah, so Daily Burn, one of our businesses, just came out with an app called HIT, which is awesome for those that like working out and really about just creating a healthy lifestyle.
Which we're all interested in.
We're all interested in.
People are living longer.
Yes, absolutely. So that's a great app they just came out with. It's, I think a lot of people are invested in that right now. Another one is WeVideo app. For me, I have a husband and my son as well, and
You're busy.
Yes,
you're a modern woman, doing it all.
And I absolutely adore them, and both of them are super funny. So just yesterday, my husband and I are supposed to be attending an event for Michael Kors for Halloween.
Fabulous.
Yeah,
Halloween.
And we're trying to figure out what we're going to be for Halloween, and he put on his 70s outfit. And he was doing his dance moves, so I'm praying for his big toe and the platform shoe. But instantly, when I had filmed him, I said, "Oh my gosh, I could use WeVideo and create the clip of him like doing this thrust move over and over." And that's what I did.
Cute.
So it was amazing. But I love using WeVideo. That's one of my favorite apps. Any financial apps I'll use because it's easy. I bank with Bank of America, so I can just click on that and take a look at, making sure
I do the same thing.
know what's going through my account. Or nothing bounced. Checking financially see.
No, check and balance.
You never know.
You never know.
But just all apps in general, I think are really, really awesome because it's just the quickness of it and the effectiveness of it as well.
Okay. So what's going on with you, Ms. Netta?
Yes.
You have this new show called Life in 3D.
Yes.
It speaks to 3 generations of women coming together to speak about their unique experiences.
Right.
Can you speak a little bit further on that and how did that come into fruition?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That show is such a blessing. I was speaking at Etsy, and after the talk, Crystal Berger, who is a Fox News producer and reporter, came up to me, and she's just like, "Hey, you did a great job, but let's do lunch one day and just chat." We did lunch, and she started talking about an idea for a show that she had. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing, right?" At the time, there was no name, but she's just like, a show that's really going to be influential, inspiring, empowering, a show that's going to be about breakthrough for all people, no matter what stage you're in your life, because there's always something that someone is struggling with, whether it be relationship or career, or say you want to have a child and it's tough for you, that's my situation, or people dealing with, being like molested, or there's just so many different things that people go through. Real world issues. And sometimes people go to sleep crying about them. It doesn't matter, your life may look perfect, but there's something that you want to get past. And so this show, Life in 3D, is all about it. Crystal said, hey, listen, Netta, I have someone I want you to meet, Carla Moore.
HBO, she is a force.
She is a force, vice president, sales strategist at HBO. Yes. And I met with her at her office, and I'm like, immediately, I'm just like, oh my gosh, she's amazing. I could see these two women not just being co-hosts, but like lifelong friends and sisters, and we literally are now. And we all clicked and connected, and we all had different stories, very different backgrounds. Like I grew up in the suburbs, and Carla grew up in the South, and Crystal grew up in the city.
Quite completely different.
Completely different.
Yes.
I'm dealing with infertility. Carla's dealing with, she dealt with obesity. And then Crystal dealt with, molestation and so very, very dramatic experiences. And then all three of us are from different industries. So I'm in the technology sector, and, Carla's in entertainment, and Crystal's in news. And it's really this business lifestyle show that is for people that are looking for that breakthrough. And we want people to watch and, leave that show feeling empowered. Yeah. They have something to take away and implement into their lives. And we want to be vulnerable and open and let them know that, listen, we're real women and these things go on,
Sure.
But we have to keep it moving, and we're going to really help everyone through those times.
I definitely think that your viewers will be able to take so much enriching information from that.
Thank you so much.
And for you guys to be so vulnerable I think that's pretty powerful.
Thank you so much.
So where can viewers watch Life in 3D?
Yes. Yeah. So right now, it's in the editing stages. Okay. But we're hoping a Netflix picks it up, or who knows, maybe an HBO will pick it up. Okay. Forbes, but it'll definitely be on a digital platform. Okay. It just has to be shopped around, and we'll see where it ends up. But folks can definitely go on our website, www.lifein3d.com, to check out some behind the scenes and some clips.
Okay, we'll keep monitoring that.
Yay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much again for taking the time out your schedule to sit here and speak with the NAMIC organization. Yeah. We greatly appreciate your expertise and your tips on how to achieve active allyship in the workplace.
Thank you so much. NAMIC is such an awesome organization, so I'm thankful to be a part of this.
Thank you, guys.